October the 18th. I am Bruce Leonard, of course, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. It's still legal today, but there's a lot happening right now. A lot. Fast and Furious is coming as usual. I don't know if you saw this, but I often say we predict the future on this show, as we do. Because if you go back and watch these shows, you will see that we talk about things here and they usually happen. And today, they voted to release the Epstein files. One vote. One no vote. Representative Clay Higgins of Louisiana voted no. The only person to vote no. And he says, I vote no because it's... let's let him speak for himself. Let's see. Let me find it. He released a statement, of course, to try to explain himself. He's the only person voted no. Well, here he is. Representative Clay Higgins. I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with the bill 3 months ago is still wrong today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people, witnesses, people who provided alibis, family members, etc. If enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. Not by my vote. The Oversight Committee has conducted a thorough investigation that has already released well over 60,000 pages of documents from the Epstein case. That effort will continue in a manner that provides all due protections for innocent Americans. If the Senate amends the bill to properly address privacy of victims and other Americans who are named but not criminally implicated, then I will vote for that bill when it comes back to the House. Well, that's not going to happen because the Senate has agreed to unanimously consent pass this bill as is. It's going to go right to Trump's desk. Now, we're going to predict the future again. What's going to happen is this. The bill will pass to succeed because I don't trust this about face all of a sudden. They wouldn't have done this crazy about face if they didn't have a plan. They have a backup plan. What they're going to do is the Senate's going to unanimously consently pass this bill. And then it's going to go to Trump's desk, where Trump will either, one, he's already said he'll sign it. So he's going, let's say he signs it. He's going to sign it. But then they're going to say, well, we're still investigating Bill Clinton and the JP Morgan Chase Bank and these other people, and therefore we can't release the file. That's what's going to happen. I mean, that's what I predict is going to happen. But most of the time when we predict things on this show, they happen. It is raining outside, so we might go in and out, or we might fade. I'm sorry. Should I go shave it off right now, Mr. Ransomware? He says the beard that I have is bothering him. Anyway, I don't believe they're going to release these files. And if they do, they'll be thoroughly scrubbed. Because they've already been on hiatus for 3 months. Which give Trump 3 months to scrub through these files and take out anything he doesn't like. So, you might get the files, but you're not going to get... See, Laura likes it, Mr. Ransomware. Therefore, you are overruled, because she's a woman. I'll take the opinion of a woman over some dude. Anyway, I don't believe you're going to see these files. They said they wouldn't have about faced so fast if they didn't have a backup plan. There's a plan. The cover-up will continue. I guarantee you. That this is all political to try to get it off the table. Because that's all anybody would talk about. Thank you. So I predict, like I said, I predict that they're going to go through this charade where they're going to pass this bill. The Senate's already said they'll pass it unanimously. And Trump will sign the bill, but then he'll say, well, we're currently investigating Bill Clinton and whatever else, and Benghazi and witch hunts and hoaxes. And think about this for a second. Okay? And this is what actually happened, right? If you're paying any attention, right? They ran their campaign saying they were going to release the Epstein files, right? Then, when they got in office, they tried that stunt, remember, where they called in all the right-wing influencers and the Betty Johnsons and the Tim Pools, and they gave away this binder, right, that said, Epstein Files, #1. Yes, Sick Nick, I have predicted lots of things on this show. Go back and watch. I've been doing this show all year. I predicted a bunch of shit. If you were here, you would see. What? See, Joey see, this is the kind of shit. That's... that is totally not true. That's like, people just say whatever they want. You just believe whatever they want. It's crazy. And then, no, the Democrats were not asking for money for transgender surgery in foreign countries or circumcisions in Africa. It's Thomas Massey's bill. That's the problem with you people. Like I said, you want to believe what they tell you because you want to believe what you believe is true, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, it ain't nothing because they're not going to release the files, Slick Nick. That's what I just said. This is all performative theater. And if, like I said, if they do release it, it'll be so scrubbed. It's a sanitized version. Oh, that's real clever. We're here fighting for the release of that, and to go after these people. And you're like, you sound like one of them, and that's like the standard right-wing bullshit when you ain't got nothing to say. Like, do you have something to say? Do you have an actual argument? I believe that's part of it, yes. I do. Because Mike Johnson didn't have to shut down the House. They weren't even meeting. They weren't in session for 90 days. And here, I want to reiterate the point for people who are watching. Hello, ICE Official 873. Which the point that we've been making on here all the time. Okay, if there's Democrats in the files, good. Let them out. All these people should be exposed, all of them. Then there should not be a partisan issue. You should want to know. Who are these people? Who was creeping around with Jeffrey Epstein? Thank you. Well, you're helping, so thank you. You think that your little insults bother me? I don't give a fuck. Like you said, I'm here doing the show's 9 viewers. I don't get 2 fucks. The show's been growing though, so you're actually helping. So thank you. I started from nothing. I still have nothing, so I've gone quite a far away. Anyway, this is all performative theater. I said, just like I said before. It's Trump wouldn't have about faced if he didn't have another plan. Because Trump is not. Actually, I don't live. I live in Kentucky, bro. If you're gonna call that a liberal cesspool. I was born and raised in Kentucky. I actually live in Thomas Massey's district. Not a liberal cesspool. I can assure you. Yes, I do. I told you I started with none. So I've been doing this show a few months. You're right about that, Joey. But the Trump administration is like performative politics on steroids. You know, it's a reality television show at all times. They always have to have something going on for you to be entertained. Every single minute of every single day at all times, because that's all Trump really is a reality TV show producer. And that's all he's ever been. Well, he's a failed business person and failed. That's what's funny is he's came out on top at the very end. Like he's failed upwards his whole life. Failed upward all the way into the presidency. And now he's able to cash in the presidency, and it looks like he's a brilliant businessman. But really, he's not. He's just corrupt as fuck. But it gives off that image, and I can see how people buy into it. I said because it works. It's like all this money they got in the stable coin now. It's all a mirage. Sooner or later, all that'll collapse, and the money will be gone. But right now they're playing. What are you talking about? I don't know where they were, Joey, or Trump wouldn't have won the election. The problem is, I mean, you're watching this show enough. If you analyze the entire situation, the problem is that the Democratic Party is a very fractured party. It's not in a lockstep party like the Republicans, like they operate like a cult. They have a leader and they follow that leader. And even the ones that don't agree with that leader grit their teeth and go along. Well, it ain't like that on the left. The left is always fighting with each other about every little fucking thing. Either you don't fight for trans rights enough, or you don't. And they nitpick and fight amongst themselves. And that's some bullshit too, man. It's like you buy into everything he says. Can I ask you a question? And you can ask me a question. That's fine. I'll answer, obviously. But no, it's not a cult. If it was, Kamala Harris would be the president. You just follow any jerk off they put up there. That's not true. Because I said this before. Because of COVID, people didn't have to go to vote. People could mail in and vote. So people who never voted were like, well, fuck it, I guess I'll vote. And more people voted. In that election, more people voted than any election. Why? Because they didn't have to go anywhere. That's my theory. See, here we go. Females shouldn't hold leadership positions. Why do you believe that? I don't understand why people believe that. And that too. Like, it was thoroughly investigated and adjudicated multiple times in multiple states. And no one found anything. If you think, oh, that's all a conspiracy, they're going to get one legal case to fucking go through. Really? That's when you know that you believe in some bullshit. They tried so hard in courts and were laughed out every time because it's not true. And they can't provide any evidence that it's true because it isn't. Even Dinesh D'Souza had to denounce his own movie. Because it's bullshit. Right? How unpredictable, Julia, right? The misogyny comes. I'm glad that you all are so different. Like, see, that's the problem. Like I said, the right is very homogenized. They all go in lockstep with the same thing. The left isn't like that. The left is a bunch of different kinds of groups that are always fighting amongst themselves, and it's hard to get them all together and on one page. That's why what Barack Obama did was pretty amazing, because he did unite the party. Everyone got behind him. And, people like that don't come along all the time. Obviously. And they fucked up. Like I said, I agree with you with the criticism of the right about the election. They did fuck up. Biden shouldn't have ran. They should have ran a primary. Kamala Harris wouldn't have been the candidate. It would have been someone else. But that didn't happen because Joe Biden kept thinking that he was going to be president for 4 more years. Like, dude, I don't think you can make 4 months. I totally agree with that. He should have stepped aside. He said when he was elected he'd be a one-term president. That just shows you people don't want to give up that power. You don't want to give it up. Once you get it. And Biden, you got to think, Biden his whole life has been in the shadow. Biden had always been a surrogate for somebody or a vice president for somebody. He was never the man. And then finally he's old, but he's the man now, and he's like, I don't want to go back to not being the man. It's a human thing. He wasn't like Trump, like I'm not leaving, and can you find me more votes? He took his loss and walked out. Yeah, exactly, Julia. It's just that most of us who watch regularly aren't Dems or Republicans. We're goddamn anarchists. Exactly. Well, I've said that all along. It's like, this is the system that you play in. It sucks. The two-party system is garbage because I said there's way more ways to look at the world than 2 ways. The two-party system is easy to control. That's why they have it. The corporations can buy off both parties, and you get what you want, and it's slightly different, so you can pretend like it's different, but really they're just serving the same people. And this is where it's gotten us. Because I said, their whole missions is to destroy all regulation and cripple the federal government as much as possible so that they can make unbridled capitalism the way, that we live. And they can build giant monopolies and stomp everybody out of, competition, and they can keep all the money. They can make all the money, and while also simultaneously siphoning off tax dollars off of the fucking federal, treasury. And people like these people think that this is a good system. It's worked for them. The truth is, we can afford health care. We can afford all the things that they give people in Europe and Canada and all these other places. But if we weren't giving all of our money to these rich people in the form of tax subsidies and tax write-off and tax breaks, and why are we, like I asked it before, why are we paying the electric bills for these fucking AI centers? Right-wing dudes, explain that for me. You think this is a good system where you pay the electric bill of billion-dollar corporations? Because we need the economic activity here. How is it economically? If it's sucking out as much as it's bringing in, what's the fucking point? Capitalism is just a shell game, and it's move shit around the table. And they pretend like they're doing some shit, but they're really not. They're just robbing and raping, and people who buy into the propaganda are like, yeah, this is the way it is. If you don't like it, go live in China. But even China's not completely communist anymore. They got a lot of capitalist elements, built into their economy now. They're just the way they treat the people is different. But they're open for business, and like I was talking about this on the last show. There's hardly any old school communist countries left. Even North Korea is not really communist; it's a dictatorship. And people can say, "Oh, it's communism," it's not really. It's a dictatorship it's just like Russia or something. It's oligarchy. Only Kim Jong-un is way more ruthless than any other dictator because they've owned that country now for what, 100 years maybe. Not 80. What was the Korean War over in the 50s? They pretty much ran that country since then. So Yes, I did see that Peter Thiel dumped all his Nvidia stock. It is interesting. Um, but all these AI companies, Thiel's into AI too. They're all competing against each other, and so you know they're all hedging their bets on who's going to be the one that breaks through. But what are they going to break through with? That's what I'm saying. The super intelligence one, like yes, the thing that's going to destroy the world. That's the thing is all this money is into the AI. It's a huge bubble in the stock market, and that's what they're saying. It's like $1 trillion or something like that, and only one of these companies is going to make it. The rest are all going to, they're all going to burn out. And when that starts happening, it's going to the whole economy is going to go fucking batshit crazy. Now I don't know what what happens because I'm not that familiar with the stock market and how that all works, but I do know that it's not good. So that's what happened. Remember the housing bubble? Remember the tech bubble? The AI is just like the tech bubble. Remember when everybody was betting on all these internet companies, and like there's only going to be a few that make it. One, maybe two. The rest, they're all going to burn out, and whoever's got their money in there, their money's just going to burn up. It's like South Park. That episode of South Park would be like, and it's gone. It's like, so you have $300,000 worth of ChatGPT stock, and it's gone. It's like that's what's gonna happen. I don't know what what they think's gonna happen. Oh, something else happened. I don't know if you know this. Before we came on I came on the air. A court blocked the Texas redistrict map that they worked so hard they shut down the state government. Remember that the Democrats ran away and and then they came back and they jammed that bill down their throat and redrew this map. Well, it's been blocked by a 3-judge federal panel, which Trump's gonna appeal, but still, so they can't use it this election. It's November, so they got 1 year. They have to jam these appeals through as fast as they can. They'll run to the Supreme Court, I'm sure. Which is funny because Texas did that unilaterally, right, with no vote. Just the Republicans just decided to redraw the map, right, and that was fine with Trump. But then California did it, but they put it on the ballot and the people voted for it, and Trump sued them. Which proves that, Trump doesn't like democracy. Not a big fan. Trump likes unilateral decisions made without the people. Oh, I didn't finish what I was going to say earlier because I got sidetracked by those dudes. But it's true. This is exactly what happened, right? The order of events was Trump and them, right? Raving about Epstein files the whole time and say, well, you get us in the power, we're going to release these files. Right? Then they got in the power, right? Then they had that fake event where Pam Bondi said, oh yeah, here's the files, volume 1. Like, we're going to keep releasing these as we go along. It turned out there was nothing in there. It wasn't already made public. So it's just a retread of shit that everybody already knew, right? And then Pam Bondi was like, there's a list of clients that's currently on my desk. And we're going through it. And we're going to release it to the public as soon as possible, right? And then Trump told them to shut the fuck up. And then they all came out and she said, remember this? She came out and said, the Epstein case has been thoroughly investigated, and all the leads have been followed, and there's no more to investigate, and the case is now closed. Right? She said that. You could go pull the tape. She said, the case has been thoroughly investigated, All these have been followed up to the thoroughest extent, and therefore the case is closed, which made the files eligible for release in the first place, right? Because there was no more any ongoing investigations going on, and everything, all the cases were closed, and he was dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell was in prison at that time before she got sent to the country club that she is at now with the puppy and all. But anyway, which no one's talking about that still. Like the things that these people get away with is unbelievable, and the lack of pushback or interrogation by the general public about these things is very disheartening. But anyway, right? So, case was closed, right? Everything is done, right? Then they're about to release these files again, finally, that he knows that this is going to happen. And he goes, well, I demand that they reopen the investigation against Clinton and all the J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and all these things that she said was already thoroughly investigated, and that's why the case was closed. And again, people just take it. They let him do it. And you're like, dude, you said yourself, your own Justice Department, your Attorney General said that the case was thoroughly investigated as much as it could possibly be, and the case was closed. Which means either one of two things. One, you suck at investigating shit. Which is true. They suck at a lot of shit. Or two, you're completely full of shit. Or three, the previous two. All of the above. You suck and you're fucking full of shit. And people take this. No, that's what I'm saying, Julia. It's all stall tactics and bullshit. And it's changing the story every other fucking day. It's like, dude, it's clear to anybody looking that there's something there that you are afraid the people to find out. And now you've had all this time with these files behind the scenes, just scrub them or remove things you didn't like or anything. By the time you get these files, they're not going to be the files that you thought they were. That's what they say. It said, Epstein's brother says that they're scrubbing all the Republicans' names out of the files. The fact that anybody believes anything at this point that these people do or say, to me, is mind-blowing. It's like, dude, they have no credibility whatsoever on any issue. And then Trump, I don't know if you saw this, but Trump called some woman reporter last night a pig. Piggy, he called her. Be quiet, piggy, or something like that. You're like, dude, this is the fucking leader of the free world. Yes, it's okay. There were 15. Maggie Kelly said, there were 15. It's not like there were 8. Like that makes a difference. That's why I said it's a cult, bro. No matter what they say, it's a cult. Like he tried to say, well, y'all are the cult. It's like, no, we're not the cult. Because I said, if I was in a cult, I would be like, I don't care if Bill Clinton fucked the 15-year-old girls or whatever. Like, no. I've said it before and I say it again. Whoever's in there, let them out. If it's Democrats, they should go down too. Everyone who's involved in this shit should go down. Whether they're a Democrat or a Republican or independent. I love me some Bernie Sanders. But if it said Bernie Sanders was in the file, I would be fucking pissed off. I'd be like, I can no longer follow Bernie, But that's not true, of course. But I'm saying, I'm just using that as an example. I love me some Bernie. But if it came out, they said Bernie was a pedophile. I was like, well, I can no longer follow Bernie, He's a piece of shit. I got fucking con, or whatever. I wouldn't be going, well, she's only 15. That's what you're doing now. Look in the mirror at yourselves. Go read your own Facebook comments and ask yourself, are you proud to be this person, who's trying to defend the indefensible? If a man is 50, 60 years old, he's trying to get with a 15-year-old girl, he's a piece of shit. I hate to break it to you. I don't care if that's your dad or your uncle or whoever, the guy's an asshole. Girls don't even have to be fucking, she could be over 8, she could be legal, 18, 19. If you're 60 years old and you're creeping around on a 19-year-old girl, you're creepy, bro. Sorry. That's just the way it is now. Is it illegal? No. It's weird as fuck. And you want to sleep with your own daughter? Like, come on, man. That's fucking ridiculous. People do it all the time, I'm not a person who's like a prude. Like I don't think that it can't happen. That somebody younger than somebody can fall in love with somebody older or whatever. Like, everybody's into their own thing. But I'm just saying, if you're a 60-year-old dude and you're creeping on 18, 19-year-old girls, you're fucking creepy. Like that guy you always see at the club, any club you ever been to, right? There's always a guy there that's too old to be there. You ever seen that guy? He's like, oh, he shouldn't be here. Like, he's always he's at the bar creeping, he's trying to find any younger girls, or any girl, I guess, when you're older alone. But then you could go to the fucking bingo hall or something, trying to find somebody. It's just more your age and type than hanging out at the. The level of gaslight of everything now is so ridiculous. I just hope that maybe this, if this gets over, kind of over, and pushed off the table, that maybe Trump won't feel like he's got to start a war with Venezuela to distract us. Because that's what's coming next. You know this, right? I'm talking about, he was laughing because I said I predict stuff. I do predict stuff. If you watch this show, I said it's happened all the time. Too many times. It's just like my Facebook page where everybody said I was crazy. You're crazy! It's like, well, everything I said was going to happen. It's pretty much happened. It took a while for us to get there, but I was sounding the alarm in the very beginning. It's like, this is where we're headed. You see, they're down in Charlotte now, where I used to live. The ICE running around, what's up with the breaking people's windows? I've seen that more this year than I've ever seen in my life. Police just breaking windows on a car. That's what the fuck is going on? What happened to pull over, step out of the vehicle? These motherfuckers just go. Yes, Brewster Thomas. Yes, exactly. These motherfuckers just go and bust your window. I bet Safe Light's doing it. That's what you should buy stock in, Julia. Safe Light. A lot of auto glass getting busted. You get that fixed. Who are you going to call? Safe Light Repair. Replace or whatever. I always laugh at, because I say that people have bought into the bullshit propaganda, but I guess I did too. I bought into the bullshit propaganda that we lived in a country that people understood what this country was and their freedoms and how important they were, and that people would stand up against tyrannical. They're the ones always about, we need guns and fight the tyrannical government. And here comes the tyrannical government. They're like, all right. Because, see, it's not tyrannical to them. Because the tyranny is aimed at the brown people. They like that. Like I said, it's like a reality TV show. Where, it's like America's Most Wanted, but for brown people. Oh, and the guy's not a criminal, he's just a roofer. My mom would be like, why are you laughing? Again, it's like, because I just have to laugh or I'll go insane. But it is humorous. Like I said, I bought into the propaganda too. That like, oh, this country's filled with real patriots who will stand up for the freedom, and half these people are bootlickers that want someone to dominate them like this. And like I said, it doesn't feel like tyranny to them because it's not aimed at them. It's aimed at the brown people. And they don't like brown people. So, Oh, did you see the newest argument? I swear to God, Bessons and J.D. Vance were on the weekend shows talking about the housing market is out of control because of all these immigrants, and all these immigrants are buying up all the houses. Really? So these immigrants, right, they're somehow buying up all the houses, but yet they somehow can still get food stamps and SNAP and all these welfare benefits that they're using up too, and they also eat the cats and dogs. That's like, first of all, you can't be buying up all the houses and using up all the welfare. That ain't how it works. They're full of shit. You want to blame every problem on immigrants and shit so they don't have to be, held responsible for the terrible fucking decisions they make. And we're like, oh, they get you distracted. Oh, it's the immigrants. We got to get them out of here. And then reality TV show, like I said, where they kidnap the immigrants off the street. They break the car windows and they shoot tear gas at people. And then people go, oh, wow, that's cool. It's entertainment. Meanwhile, like I said, if you look at these things that they're saying, they're full of shit. And Scott Bessent, I swear to God, he literally said this, that the reason why beef prices are up so high is because there is some kind of disease that the immigrants, they were bringing their cattle with them. What? The immigrants are bringing the cattle across the border. It's not only illegal aliens, but illegal cattle rustlers. Flooding the market with the illegal alien cows with diseases. It's insane when you really step back and think about these things that they're saying. It's nuts, especially if they believe it. And then, if you know anything about the history of the actual Nazi party, they believed all kinds of crazy, kooky fucking shit. Because once you're a conspiracy theorist, you can fucking you'll believe anything. I've come to believe that either they're really that soulless and evil that they'll just say anything and they think that you're stupid enough to buy it. And thus far they've been correct. Or they're really this insane and they really believe these crazy fucking things. Now, I believe Stephen Miller probably believes all this shit. That all the immigrants and this and But it's just a thing to blame all of your problems on immigrants. All of them. Like, what is it you really think that immigrants are what's affecting the fucking beef price? Are you kidding me? Because they were bringing in cows over the border. Are you fucking kidding me? Like that? That wouldn't be on the news. We got satellites everywhere. Just Google Earth, you can see it. Like, oh, look at this guy. He's got 150 head of cattle. He's bringing it across the border. They're so ridiculously stupid, these things that they say. They're saying this on like Meet the Press. And Kristen Welker and those people just sit there. Mm-hmm. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's why I say, like, you need to help me get big enough that I can have a show like that. Because, I mean, I would say that right on the air. I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? What the... They're rustling cattle across the border. Are you fucking serious? It's like, you can't be... Now they just let them say these things. It's unbelievable. I mean, what happened to the press? They don't challenge anything they say. They just sit there and nod their head. Oh yeah, really? Are you fucking serious? Right now? Remember when J.D. Vance did a debate? Hey, you said you weren't going to fact check. That is in a presidential debate. No fact checking. Presidential debate. That's when you know your politics is off the fucking rail. You're like, oh yeah, we can't have fact checking. It's like, we'll waste half the time, you know, because these guys don't tell the truth about nothing. It's like, the other guy looked like a deer in the headlights. Although he's being relatively honest, you know. It's like, it's bad. It's a bad situation we find ourselves in. Yes, Ken, war is very, very possible. Like I said in the last episode, you don't move all that shit down there for nothing. Now they have, like I said, no one's talking about how much money this guy's spending. How many millions and millions of dollars do you think it costs to send aircraft carriers and all these things down to Venezuela? How many millions of dollars do you think it costs to blow up a fishing boat? Let alone, 30 of them. Kill 82 people. This shit ain't cheap. Nobody's talking about that. How many millions and billions of dollars do you think it costs to send ice to any fucking city that he... What's up, Costello? That he has the whim to send them to, He had to pull the ones out. Did you see that? The Texas guards that went to Chicago and these other cities, they left because the courts ruled they couldn't be deployed, so they just spent all this time sitting around doing nothing and then got sent back. That's another millions and millions of dollars that we just wasted on dumb shit like that. And then you say that you can't afford to give people SNAP benefits and health care. Are you fucking kidding me? The fact that we take this shit. You're just blowing, like I said, money. Doing all kinds of dumb shit. $40 billion for his buddy in Argentina. And then they talk about it. Waste, fraud, and abuse. And people go, yeah! One guy might be getting food stamps he ain't supposed to get. This bullshit. It's like, how much does that cost? With that $40 billion to Argentina. Well, gotta help Trump's press. This country is filled with a bunch of spineless fucking bootlickers, like I said. I bought into the hype that we were fucking, ornery patriots who love freedom. We want to just giving your freedom away to this fucking clown. It's an orange clown with Nazi fucking friends. Oh yeah, this is gonna be way better than the system of representative government we had before. Oh yeah, let him and his rich buddies run everything and take all the money. Oh yeah, they I love it. Yeah. This is the way. This is the American way. Meanwhile, this guy, he can't talk. The shit that comes out of his mouth sometimes is like, it's unbelievable. Was there something else that I was going to read to you? Oh, this is something that was funny. Someone on Fox News, I swear to God, the Trump economy is great. So great, right? It's great. Don't talk about affordability because it's great, right? She says, save money during the holidays. Remember, she says, adults don't need gifts. Focus on the people in your life who are aged 3 to 18. Grandma don't need no slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. So, their solution to the problem is just be an asshole. Don't get anybody nothing. They probably don't deserve it anyway. This is right wing media. Convincing people, you tighten your belt. You gotta tighten your belt because Trump's got to send $40 billion to Argentina. You know? And people go, yeah, I guess I got to tighten it up. It's unbelievable, and we take it. We're like, yes, fuck me some more. It's the American dream. It's a 50-year mortgage. Yes, that's next. 50-year mortgage. Some people might not even want to go. Yeah, exactly, Julia. They're telling people don't buy stuff at the store. Which again, their stupid ass ideas cascade upon each other. They don't get that, right? It's like that's a tariff. Tariff sucks, right? It's a bad idea. He's like, oh, we need tariffs. What does tariff do? Tariff increases prices, right? Which makes shit less affordable, right? Which makes you have to spend more money, right? And so then they're like, oh, this is bad. Well, let's remove the tariffs off the certain things so people can, prices will go down, right? Because you made the prices go up. You're admitting that now by cutting the tariffs. So anyway, so now they're saying, well, don't buy nothing. Which cascades more into like people not spending. It's like consumer price index goes down, or whatever the fuck that is. Like the unemployment's already going up. They laid off hundreds of thousands of people. So Elon Musk with this chainsaw, you know, no one's talking about that. Those people are still out there with no jobs. It's only been one. Like I said, we're getting up to the end of 1 year, and you're starting to see all this stuff seep into the statistics. That's why they said, "Oh, we don't have the statistics because the government was shut down." And anything you see from now on cannot be trusted. They're gonna lie their asses off. That guy with the fucking glasses, I can't remember his name. He is the most pathetic, groveling nutlicker I've ever seen in my life. He's like a used car salesman, smiling all the time and just lying his ass off, you know. It's like, oh yeah, tariffs and shit. 11th Circuit is another thing that happened. 11th Circuit threw out Trump's lawsuit against CNN in a per curiam unpublished ruling, meaning Trump's arguments were totally meritless, not even worthy of a published opinion. Who do you think paid for that? You did. It's just more money just pouring down and fucking, like I said. Oh, here he is. Here's Trump at the McDonald's franchise owners gathering. I swear to God. He was speaking at the McDonald's convention. That's how much he likes McDonald's. Anyway, he said, "We're gonna make the American dream a word that 2 words that you didn't have. Remember when Biden said it's all about 3 words? The American dream. You don't ever want to get in that situation." What the fuck is he talking about? He just rambling dimension nonsense at all times now. And no one cares. He had Mohammed bin Bonesaw in the Oval Office today, right? And when they asked about Khashoggi, he acted like Khashoggi deserved to be fucking cut up with a bone saw. And he didn't know anything about it. Really? He didn't know anything about it. His own security services kidnapping the fucking journalists and cutting them with the bone saws. Oh, this is rogue operation. He didn't know nothing about it. The fact that people believe anything that comes out of this guy's mouth at this point in his life. I mean, he was like that already before he was even president, but now he's president, it's even worse. He just says anything, lies about anything and everything at all times, like a 5-year-old. Easily disproven bullshit. And people just stand there and nod. Well, he's the president. He's fucking full of shit. There's no way to run a country or a world. People think this is sustainable. This is not a sustainable way to do anything. Like I said before, if you knew a guy like Trump in your personal life who just lied his ass off to you constantly about everything and was like, fuck you, and called your women friends pigs and shit, you wouldn't hang out with this person. You would disown them from your life. Yet this is the leader of the free fucking world? Walking around. It's unbelievable. I say that all the time. It's like every day you think it can't get more unbelievable, and every day it gets more unbelievable. Okay, let's have a hypothetical, theoretical situation. Okay, what's up, Caleb? Thank you for tuning in. Let's say you did elect a person president, not Trump. Let's just, this is a totally hypothetical situation. But you're in a country, it doesn't have to be the United States, it could be any country. Okay, and you elect the person to be the president of the United States, right? But then he goes like mad while he's in office, and you just watch him just deteriorate and get more and more crazy every single day. At what point do you say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not sure this guy should be the president. Maybe we made a mistake. And then what do? Especially when the guy surrounded himself with a bunch of people who would just do whatever he says. Walk, like if he walked over a cliff, they just walk behind him. Because that's how fucking, like I said, pathetically, I've never, like I said, I can't wrap my head around that level of hero worship. I've met people that I consider my heroes. You know, I've been friends with people that I would artistically, where I go, man, that guy's a hero. I look up to him. You know, it's like, but I don't fucking grovel around behind them and kiss their asses. And if a guy was a comedian and he said something that wasn't funny, I'd be like, that's not very funny. You know, like, I'm not going to be like, ha, ha, ha. Oh, that's the best joke you've ever written. Because you're just a groveling, nut-looking, ass-kissing fucking... That's what these people are, all. And they're all millionaires and billionaires. And nobody seems to grasp that either. Like, these people don't give two fucks about you. People are out here paying fucking $10 a pound for a hamburger and shit. And and these people are having great Gatsby themed parties, whether we're complaining that the White House didn't have a ballroom big enough to host their big ass fucking, fuck you parties that they want to have. And people go, yeah, that's what I want is my leadership. Again, it's all a myth that this country was filled with, brave people who were going to stand up for the rights and free. You realize that there's other countries in the world who aren't free, right? The United States has always been the envy of people that live in those countries. They're like, man, if I could just get to America, I could be free. And to watch you give away that freedom, just give it away. Because you're fucking stupid. It's got to be infuriating to those people. The United States represented a great leap forward for freedom of human beings from, tyrannical governments that want to hold power over you. And I can still say on this show, fuck Donald Trump. He's the President of the United States. I can say, fuck the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Why? Because we live in America. It's still free to do that. There are other countries where I could say that right now, and they'd be knocking at my door, ready to drag me up. Yeah, if I said that in Russia. If I was in Russia and I said, fuck Vladimir Putin, it'd be probably about 10 seconds later. Because they were already monitoring my show for being subversive and dangerous. Be like, oh, you said it. Go get him. And I would mysteriously fall out a window or down some stairs, or I'd be sent to a gulag somewhere. People don't respect that enough. Just the ability that you could say that. And like I said, every day you're creeping towards a place where that might not be possible anymore. Because you're indulging the whims of this fucking clown. Like I said, I can't figure out, like, a person with that one redeeming fucking quality whatsoever as a human being. A guy who's like got a good side, right? Everybody knows people like that, right? It's like, well, he's a dick in this way, but he's also a good person. He has redeeming qualities that make up for the shitty things he does, right? But Trump has none of that. He's just a shitbag person. And somehow, millions of people have decided that that's who represents them. Which tells you, like I said, that people are assholes. I told you before, it's my premise, and that's a myth too. That people are good. Oh, people are good. People aren't good, bro. The majority of people are assholes, selfish shitbags, pricks, racist, hateful, all kinds of terrible things. Pedophiles, It's just horrible. And so we were talking about them before. It's like on this show we've discussed it. Like, what happened in the Catholic Church, what happened in the gymnastics, what happened in Jim Jordan's wrestling team, what happened in like I said, at all these fucking places. Remember Dennis Hastert? He was the Speaker of the House, Republican. He went to prison for being a pedophile with little boys. This stuff happens way more than anybody wants to admit or talk about. Because, again, we're too busy shoveling the bullshit myth that people are good, and meanwhile we ignore all this horrible, terrible shit that happens. Instead of actually trying to fix this shit, like this Epstein thing. We shouldn't be fighting and arguing about should they release the files, should they not, who's implicated, who isn't. No, everybody should be on the same page. Release the files. Let's see who these people are and get rid of them. You know, if you can't send them to prison or whatever, you can at least banish them from, like, you know, real society and be like, hey, this fucking guy can't, you know. Some of these people in these emails, that's what's happening to him. Like Larry, what was his name? The fuck's his name? He was the Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton or something. But he was in the file, and so he had a job at Harvard. They got rid of him. And, you know, he's being banished slowly out of society. Everybody that has anything to do with him is like, we're sorry. He's gonna get the Prince Andrew treatment. He's gonna wind up in a shack somewhere in the back of somebody's property. Which is why they should. If you're rich, powerful, billionaire, or whatever, and you this is what you were doing, fuck you. You should face justice of some sort. And I don't care if I said you're left, right, Democrat, Republican, and we should all be able to get at least on that page. The fact that we can't tells you how broken this country is. We got to try to get back to a place where at least we can agree on shit like this. That's why I will say, I don't like Marge or Nancy Mace or Lauren Boebert. Most of the time, these are despicable people. But you got to admire what they did this time, because even Trump tried to pressure them and they didn't break. It's because of them that this is happening. Those people who signed massive petitions to force this vote, those are the real heroes in this situation. Not the rest of these fucks that voted yes today because Trump gave them permission. Because without Trump's permission, they would have covered up for pedophiles. And the only reason that they didn't is because Trump gave them the cover they needed to not have to go back to their constituents and try to explain why they voted to protect pedophiles while they're running for re-election. And you can take that to the bank. That's the only reason. That's it. It's horrible. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. Thank you for watching as usual. And if you're one of the new people that were watching today and you just tuned in and just found the show, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm on live Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time every week, faithfully. And on Saturdays, sometimes I have my friend Daniele Bolelli on the first half of the Saturday show, if he feels well and it's free. Other than that, like I said, if you like the show, subscribe, like, tell your friends. I'll be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock. Thank you. Good night. If you're struggling